Hello, my name is Lisa Barnett. I have over 12 years of experience as a state law enforcement officer, which led me to this research on job satisfaction and retention in law enforcement. The views presented here are solely mine and do not represent the views of my agency or the Naval Postgraduate School. The research and data included in this presentation were collected in 2020 while I was a student at the Center for Homeland Defense and Security. During my law enforcement career, I have met and worked with different officers who were not satisfied with their jobs and allowed their dissatisfaction to negatively affect their work or led them to quit their jobs. I hear law enforcement leaders discuss their inability to retain officers who they have invested time and money into hiring and training. These officers typically leave within the first few years before the agency can benefit from the officer's experience. Officers with more time serving the community have experience with how to identify and solve crimes and effectively interacting with the public that new officers have not yet learned. Additionally, the loss of experienced officers prevents the transfer of this knowledge and experience to the newer officers. The inability to retain experienced law enforcement officers can cause a reduction in the quality of services provided to the public and reduces the agency's ability to keep the public safe. My observations and experience led me to question, how can the law enforcement profession enhance job satisfaction in an effort to retain officers? In order to answer this question, I needed an adequate understanding of what the current level of job satisfaction is amongst law enforcement officers and how this relates to their desires to leave or quit their jobs. In order to gather this information, I conducted a survey of law enforcement officers. Before we continue, allow me to explain two key terms used throughout my research: job satisfaction and intention to quit. Speaking in very general terms, job satisfaction is how a person feels about their job, while intention to quit is a person's reported desire to leave their current employment. My review of previous research on job satisfaction revealed a general focus in all professions on 5 areas: pay, opportunities, co-workers, supervisors, and work conditions. I chose to add the areas of work and family conflict as a result of hearing officers frequently complain about the demands of their profession affecting their family lives, and public perception because events in the past few years have led to bad public opinions of law enforcement officers. After reviewing several existing job satisfaction surveys, I concluded that no existing survey incorporated all my research goals of measuring and relating job satisfaction and intentions to quit for law enforcement officers. Therefore, I created a survey to meet my research needs. The survey I created consisted of 79 statements to measure job satisfaction and intentions to quit. These statements encompass the 7 facets or categories identified, as well as global statements to measure the overall levels of satisfaction or intention to quit. Additionally, I included 14 statements to gather the demographic information of the respondents. I sent the survey to representatives from 21 police departments, 8 sheriff's offices, and 6 state agencies in 14 states to distribute to officers of the rank lieutenant and below. I received 930 complete responses to the survey. As part of my analysis, I examined how members of different agencies responded to the survey. City officers reported being significantly less satisfied than other types of officers with immediate supervisors, work conditions, and public perception. County officers were significantly more satisfied with pay, opportunities, co-workers, and public perception. County officers were significantly less likely to quit due to pay, opportunities, co-workers, work conditions, public perception, and overall. State officers were significantly less satisfied with pay, opportunities, and co-workers. Additionally, state officers reported being significantly more likely to quit due to pay, opportunities, and co-workers. Based upon this analysis, county officers appear to be the most satisfied and least likely to quit of the different types of officers. The statements for agency size were broken into more segments than presented here. However, by combining the sizes into these 4 categories, we were able to see more significant results, such as in agencies with 100 or less officers, officers are significantly more likely to quit due to their immediate supervisor than officers in agencies of a different size. Officers in agencies with 101 to 500 officers are significantly more satisfied with pay, opportunities, co-workers, work conditions, and overall. They are also significantly less likely to quit due to pay, co-workers, and overall. Officers in agencies with 501 to 2,000 officers are significantly less satisfied with pay and opportunities. And officers in agencies with more than 2,000 officers are significantly less satisfied with pay. These results indicate that officers are most satisfied and least likely to leave an agency with 101 to 500 officers than officers in the agencies of different sizes. I compared the demographic information from the 930 respondents to the National Demographic Information for Law Enforcement Officers gathered for the Bureau of Justice Statistics reports of the Law Enforcement Management and Administrative Statistics, or LEMAS surveys, in the census of state and local law enforcement agencies. The responses to the survey were not directly comparable to these reports due to variations in the information collected and selection options. Additionally, some differentiations in the respondent pool to the national population can be attributed to the survey being dispersed through a convenient sample. The gender representations in the survey sample generally followed the same representation as the national population of law enforcement officers. The responses were only significantly different by gender for satisfaction with immediate supervisors, with females being less satisfied and males being more satisfied, and for intentions to quit due to coworkers, with females reporting to be more likely to quit than males due to their coworkers. Although this survey included response options for multiple races, the results presented more significant results when the respondents' races were organized as white and non-white. The significant results were observed for satisfaction with pay, with non-whites significantly less satisfied and whites more satisfied, and for intentions to quit due to pay, as well as immediate supervisor, with non-whites reporting to be more likely to quit for either of these two reasons than whites. The most significant responses relating to officers' experience level were for the experience ranges of 1 to 5 years, 6 to 10 years, and 11 to 15 years. The pie chart is organized to demonstrate what percentages those populations represent while combining the remaining experience ranges into one group. Officers with 1 to 5 years experience were significantly more satisfied with their opportunities in overall than officers with more experience. Officers with 11 to 15 years of experience were significantly less satisfied overall. Officers with 6 to 10 years reported being significantly more likely to quit due to work and family conflict. Information was also collected on the officers' ranks. When the survey was distributed, I requested that it not be sent to officers over the rank of lieutenant, as those officers usually have higher pay and more opportunities, and therefore may not view satisfaction in the same manner. Reinforcing this decision, lieutenants responded that they are significantly more satisfied with pay. In contrast, corporals responded they are significantly less satisfied with pay. Additionally, corporals reported being significantly more likely to quit due to opportunities and work conditions. Sergeants reported being significantly less likely to quit due to pay and work conditions. You should note that not all agencies include all of these ranks, such as corporal, in their rank structures. There were no significant results based on age, education level, or military experience. The internal reliability of the survey questions and responses was measured and verified by an analysis of Cronbach's alpha. When I analyzed the 930 completed responses using descriptive statistics, the results indicated that, with the exception of public perception, the results correlated at the 99% confidence interval, implying the interrelationship between satisfaction and intentions to quit. The highest coefficient or strongest relationship observed is between the overall satisfaction mean and the overall intentions to quit mean. We also see stronger relationships in the areas of pay, opportunities, and work conditions, while we see weaker relationships in the areas of work and family conflict and public perception. This table displays the Pearson's correlation coefficients for the facets of job satisfaction means compared to the overall job satisfaction mean, and ranks the facets in order of the strongest to weakest correlation to overall satisfaction. However, those on the lower end of the spectrum are still considered moderately correlated. The bar graph depicts the satisfaction means for each facet in order from the facet with the highest reported satisfaction mean to the facet with the lowest reported satisfaction mean. The facet with the lowest reported satisfaction mean is pay, however the mean is 3.02, which is just above an average satisfaction score of 3.0. The line in the bar graph depicts the mean response for overall satisfaction. It is interesting to note that the overall satisfaction score reported by respondents is higher than any individual mean satisfaction score. The table displays the Pearson's correlation coefficients for the facet intentions to quit means compared to the overall intention to quit mean, and ranks the facets in order of the strongest to weakest correlation. However, those on the lower end of the spectrum are still considered moderately correlated. The bar graph depicts the intentions to quit means for each facet in order from the facet with the highest reported intention to quit mean to the facet with the lowest reported intention to quit mean. The means for intention to quit represent the inverse of the means for job satisfaction, in that a high mean for job satisfaction indicates officers are satisfied, whereas a high mean for intentions to quit indicates that the officers are more likely to leave their current employment. The facet with the highest reported intentions to quit is pay, which was also the facet with the lowest satisfaction mean. However, the mean for intention to quit due to pay is 2.61, which is below the average intention to quit rating of 3.0, indicates that officers are still less likely than not to quit due to pay. The line in the bar graph depicts the mean response for overall intentions to quit. Intentions to quit due to pay and opportunities fall above the overall intentions to quit mean, while all other facet means fall below the reported overall intentions to quit mean. Comparing this slide to the previous slide, pay and opportunities are consistent in their ranking with the lowest satisfaction means and highest intention to quit means, while immediate supervisors and coworkers also maintain their relationship with the highest satisfaction means and lowest intention to quit means. The results of this research indicate that overall, law enforcement officers are satisfied with their jobs and not intending to quit. However, for those of us who work in the law enforcement community, we observe that this is not always the case. Our observations may differ from these results due to respondents not reporting their feelings accurately, or the possibility that those who are truly not satisfied and intending to quit do not take the time to complete this survey. For anyone who is interested in continuing research in this area, a reiteration of the survey may produce different results. At the time the survey was conducted, COVID was in the beginning stages. Now that COVID has extended past a year and altering our lifestyles, it would be interesting if any of the responses would change, especially in regards to work and family conflict or the benefits section of pay. Additionally, the survey was closed June 5th, 2020, which was only a couple weeks after the death of George Floyd and at the beginning of national movements to protest the police. Given these protests and the national negative public opinions expressed against police, it would be interesting to research whether the responses regarding public perception would change. By understanding that officers' job satisfaction affects their desires to quit, agencies can work towards retaining the officers they have trained and who have experience to be better equipped to provide a safe and secure environment for our country. Agencies can look at the specific areas their officers have less satisfaction with and use those to target actions to increase job satisfaction and, in turn, keep more officers.